Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. I am using my sister's phone that she gave me as a spare. It's an old Samsung something or other. So I hope this is okay. So welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. If you're new here, if you can like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it, trying to grow my channel. So I talk about lots of spiritual topics, healing topics, and as well as my my topics have to do with like autism and things like that more recently. Now, one of the things that I wanted to talk about is something that I'm curious if this is an autistic experience or if this is just a general experience that some people have. And I made a reel about this because it just kind of like grinded my gears a little bit. It's just like when something good happens to you and people kind of say like, well, aren't you lucky? Or people are like not happy for you, or they're kind of envious or whatever for that. And so, I want to talk about that a little bit because I'm just curious if, this is something that has happened to me my whole life, and I'll give you a few examples of it. But I just want, I wonder if this is just something that is common for everyone in general, or if this is more, I guess, prevalent in autistic communities for whatever reason. And so what I'm going to say is this is my opinion, and this is not a fact. This is not something that I researched. I'm just speaking on my own opinion here. Oftentimes when something good happens to you, whether you win something or you achieve a success or something, you assume, or not assume, but you're going to think that your loved ones will be happy for you about that. However, that's not always the case. In my instance, for example, I might have something happen to me and it'd be something really good, and it could be something that I put a lot of work into, and that something that I'm really great at, and I really put effort or whatever into it. And so I achieved this thing that I was deserving of, and yet there will be comments from people saying like, oh, well, aren't you lucky? And when people make comments like that, it's so rude. It's rude. And I don't know if you're someone who makes comments like this, but just know how rude it is. Because when you say things like that, like as if someone didn't work their butt off to get what they have, like, sometimes people like, there's going to be some cases where people maybe don't deserve things and they just like really like swindled their way into something or whatever. And I'm not talking about those instances right now. I'm talking about people who are just working towards things in their lives and they're just honest and doing things and they achieve the success and the things, all the things in their life. And so when you make a comment like, oh, aren't you lucky? It's incredibly like dismissive. And essentially what you're implying is that person did not deserve what they received, that they were just lucky and it so happened to fall on their lap or whatever. And so it just kind of irritates me a lot when people use this comment. I don't think it's nice. It's not like when it's, oh, it doesn't, you're reading too much into it. No, I'm not reading too much into it, because this has happened to me numerous times my entire life. And in a lot of those cases, those people who did say those things, unfortunately, were like very narcissistic people who were very envious and jealous of something that I achieved. Examples would be going far back as like when I was in high school and I was a huge band geek and I won awards. And so having, winning these awards and maybe having my family there to see me perform, like my parents, not my family, just my parents, things like that. And I remember having my best friend being super upset about the fact that I won and that my parents were there to watch me. And I know that a lot of times people are upset. They're projecting their own feelings about things. Like in her case, she was upset because she didn't have anyone show up for her. But there's another example, like just people being upset maybe received a grade or a promotion or something. And when I used to work where I worked, my own like partner would be jealous of me achieving any success at my work. Like there were times when I was chosen because I was one of their best employees and I was chosen to go and open like new stores and things like that. And it was just so insane to me hearing like my partner, well, we weren't together at this time. It was just another, I had, this is my narcissistic ex that I'm talking about. And she made a comment saying that I was not deserving of it and that they're much better worker than I am, and that I'm not even that good of a worker. And it's just like so appalling to hear someone like say those things about you. So when other people make comments like that and say like, oh, aren't you lucky? And it's like, it's not that they say that you, when you won and like, oh my God, you're so lucky. That's amazing. It's like a very distinct, oh, aren't you lucky? Oh, lucky dog. When you make comments like that, there's always this very thinly veiled implication of that you don't feel like that person is deserving of that thing. Or there's like, it's like cloaked in jealousy and envy when you make comments like that. And this is why I always feel uncomfortable when people make things like that. It took me this long to figure that out. And I always would just kind of shrug it off and not think anything of it and just allow people like that near me. But now I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to have people like that near me. I want to be surrounded by my friends who are so excited when something good happens to me and that I achieve a success and that I have something good in my life, because Lord knows I've worked for it. If I have something in my life, I promise you that I worked for it and that I didn't just like, things didn't just get handed to me. And even if someone did hand it to me, just because like in that instance, I didn't like work the hardest for that. I've worked hard for all these things in my life. So if I receive good things in my life, I'm deserving of them. I really, truly believe that. And most people deserve good things in their lives, especially if you're putting out good energy and you're working hard and you're a nice, kind person and there's good karma and stuff like that. You deserve like good things in your life. You deserve good things to happen to you. And I always celebrate those things with my friends. I've never been like the jealous kind of friend, but there's not been the case in my life, in my whole past, with my experiences with people, whether I got like work, promotion, recognition, or in various things. And now, like being in my relationship, just like these very weird, thinly veiled comments, like that were thinly veiled with like envy and jealousy. And maybe it's not that, but it comes off as that because there's always this implied tone of that I don't deserve it and that I'm not really deserving of that thing. And wow, you're lucky. Aren't you lucky? Like, no, I'm not lucky. I worked my ass off to be where I am and to get what I'm doing. And just because I have that doesn't mean I'm not struggling with these other things. Like, you just totally dismiss people when you make comments like that. They're not humorous. They're not clever. They're not any of those things. They're shitty comments. So if you're someone who says things like that, maybe be mindful of that, because it's not, I don't think it's nice. And I feel like I'm not, I don't want to be accepting of those comments anymore. Anyways, let me know in the comments if this is something that you experienced, because the reason I say if this is an autistic thing, because oftentimes we're very weird, strange. We don't fit the mold. We're not, as I can speak on my, like for myself, but I'm not trying to fit in with the crowd and follow the people, and I'm not trying to be a certain way. Whereas a lot of people they try so hard to fit the picture, the mold of the Joneses or whatever like that, because they want to fit in with that, whatever that is. But for autistic people, we've never fit in with anything, even if we try. And so I don't feel like we try, because we don't care about the same things that maybe neurotypical people care about. And so we've already felt like we don't fit in our entire lives. So we don't make this effort to try to fit in that way, to be part of that group, when we already know that we've very much intentionally been excluded from that group our entire lives in every freaking way. So with that being said, it's like when we achieve these successes, it almost feels like other people glance at us as if we're less than and that we're not deserving of those successes. It's like, oh, that weird girl who's a dork and awkward and doesn't care about fitting in with conforming or whatever with society. Why does she deserve to have that? Why does she deserve it? She's not deserving of it. She's such a strange girl. Halo, right? And so I wonder if this is just something that you've also experienced if you're an autistic person watching this, because we see it all the time in like movies and things like that. When you see the popular girls, and you'll see like, and it's not just girls, it's everyone, but like if you see like them hanging out in their schools, and they'll see like the nerdy girl or the loner or the one who's like a dork or whatever, and something happens to her and they're like, she doesn't deserve it, and they'll bully her. They will bully her and do mean things to her and sabotage her so that it blows up in her face, or that it gets taken away from her, or that to shame her, to ridicule her, to embarrass her, and do all these types of things. And I have to say that that experience has not been very different from what I've experienced in my life, in terms of like when I have things happen to me, good things happen to me. And I hate saying that, and I really hate to admit that, but unfortunately that has been the case for most things in my life, and it really sucks. And so I'm just really curious what your experience has been with that for other autistic people. And yeah, that's all this video is about. I just wanted to know if you've had that experience, and that I'm going down right now. It's marked right here on this video that when people say things like that, like, aren't you lucky? Or like, wow, aren't you a lucky dog? And things like that. I think that it's very, very much thinly veiled with elements of not them thinking that you're not deserving of that you are not really deserving, and that they are more deserving than you of those things. I said what I said. So anyways, let me know in the comments what you think about this. I would love to know. This is something that's kind of been weighing on my mind a bit lately, and it's making me feel really shitty about things, and unfortunate. That's just the way. Fortunately, that's just how life is. But let me know what you think. Anyways, thank you for being here. I really appreciate all of you. Like and subscribe, please. And if you want to know any other topics, or if there's something that you want to hear more about, please feel free to comment and let me know. I hope the sound on this is okay. I'm just waiting to get a proper camera to record. I'm kind of saving up money to get like a whole setup made up, but it's really hard because I'm in the process of finding a job, and also a new place, which will come after that. So I have there's a lot going on in my life right now. So yeah, that is all. I hope you're taking care of yourself, and that things are going well for you, and that you're kind to yourself. Okay, take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.